Welcome back to the garden. Today we're taking a close-up look at the Greenstalk tower planter, and I'm going to show you my top 4 things I like to grow in a Greenstalk. I have the 5-tier original Greenstalk planter. It has 6 planting spaces on each tier, making it a great way to pack in fruit, vegetables, and flowers into a compact space. I intentionally set my Greenstalk on the back patio. I can see it from my dining room and living room windows, and I love to look at it from inside the house. It's a great conversation starter when I have friends over, and it draws me out into the garden. My 4 favorite things to grow in the Greenstalk could be grown in any vertical garden setup or compact space, as well as pots or in the ground. Through trial and error, I found that these are especially good plants for compact spaces. Number 1. Strawberries. I love to grow strawberries in my Greenstalk. Because they're raised off the ground, I don't have any problems with slug and snail damage. The fruit stays blemish-free, and it's very easy for me to see the fruit. Another benefit is that the strawberries are contained. I can tuck the runners into an empty cell like I've done here if I want to propagate more, or I just cut them off if I don't. When strawberries are grown in the ground, they can become nearly invasive and need to be separated frequently when they get too thick. The Greenstalk allows me to keep my strawberries blemish-free and low maintenance. I'm growing 2 types of ever-bearing strawberries in my Greenstalk. I have Berry Basket Pink and Berries Galore New Pink. Number 2. Flowers. The Greenstalk is a great place for flowers. I have flowers tucked in all around mine to draw pollinators and create a beautiful view. I also use some of the flowers in small flower arrangements. I'm growing 4 different types of flowers this year. First, marigolds. Marigolds are a garden staple for me. They produce beautiful flowers that the pollinators love, and their scent is supposed to repel some pests. Marigolds were my favorite flower as a little girl, so I'll always have them in my garden. This year, I'm growing my favorite mix called Happy Days. Next is nasturtiums. This is my first time growing nasturtiums, and I have the tip-top Alaskan salmon variety from Baker Creek. I love the variegated foliage and the salmon blooms. They are absolutely stunning. Nasturtiums do especially well in the spring and can handle a light frost. They also draw aphids. So my hope was that the aphids would get on the nasturtiums and leave my tomatoes alone. I'm definitely growing this variety again next year. Another flower that works great in the Greenstalk is zinnias. Miniature varieties do especially well because you can tuck multiple seeds into the same cell to make it full of foliage and color. This is another flower that pollinators love. It adds great visual interest and works well in flower arrangements. The last flower I'm growing in my Greenstalk this year is dwarf sunflowers. This variety was labeled willow-leaved sunflowers, but I don't think that's accurate. I'm enjoying them anyway. These mini sunflowers get about 10 inches tall and produce 1 bloom each. They work really well as cut flowers, and my chickens love the seeds. To make this section more full, I've tucked in 4 mini sunflowers into each section of the Greenstalk. Number 3. Vegetables. Last year I grew spinach, lettuce, and kale in my Greenstalk. It was a great spring crop, but this year I wanted to try a vegetable that would perform in the hot summer months. I chose Tom Thumb variety of tomatoes. This is a seed from Baker Creek. They get between 8 and 12 inches tall and are loaded with orange, cherry-sized tomatoes. They've been a perfect size for the Greenstalk, and I love having them on the patio. I can grab a few to snack on as I walk through the rest of the garden. The Greenstalk is pretty versatile when it comes to vegetables, but you'll have the best luck with dwarf varieties that don't get too tall. Last year I tried to grow peppers, but they got too tall and shaded each other out. Number 4. Herbs. The Greenstalk is perfect for growing herbs. Mine is right outside the back door, so I can easily step out and cut herbs for a recipe. They're also great for pollinators if you let them go to flower. I'm growing several types of herbs this year. First, This spring I grew cilantro. As the weather got hot, it went to seed and produced tiny white flowers. I tucked some sunflower seeds at the base so they would fill in when I cut the cilantro back. I'm also growing basil. This year I'm growing lemon basil, cinnamon basil, and Genovese basil in my Greenstalk. I like to have the variety for different culinary applications. They smell delicious in the garden and they have beautiful flowers. Next, I have English lavender. I tucked this at the bottom because it's a perennial, so it'll come back year after year in my area. And I wanted to be able to bring it with me when I moved. Eventually, I will need to move it to a larger space, but it works great in the Greenstalk for now. My most used herb is chives. They're a perennial in my area. In the spring, they had beautiful purple blooms, and as you can see, I've been cutting on them frequently to add them to recipes. They're very forgiving and continue to grow cut after cut. I have 2 bonus herbs. I snagged this footage from my sister's Greenstalk. She's growing a variegated oregano that's really pretty. And check out this sage. It's thick and lush and smells amazing. Any herb that you can find will work well tucked into the Greenstalk because they do well in compact spaces. I hope you got some ideas of things that work well in a tower planter or compact planting space. Thanks for watching.